Is the US side of Niagara Falls really that bad? As soon as you bring it up, anyone who has been will tell you that the Canadian side is better. But then that begs the question, is it even worth the trip if you are an American without a passport? I launched an investigation to find out. Despite the falls being the same, your view of them and all the activities and attractions surrounding them varies a great deal depending on which side you choose to visit. The only way to figure it out is through hands-on research. So I did everything on both sides in one day. In this video, I'm going to be comparing the view, the attractions, the boat rides, the nature, and the excursion adventures that each side has to offer. I'm going to let you know what's great and what might actually be a waste of your time and money. And by the end, you'll know if it's worth it for you and your family to make the trip to Niagara Falls if all you can do is visit from the American side. The view.
Whoa, look at that.
We gotta start by talking about how well we can see the falls themselves. The view is free. We love free. Niagara is protected by parks services on both sides, so wherever you choose to visit, you can walk along the river and gaze down over the falls free of charge. The falls are sort of angled in such a way that they're basically directly facing Canada, so you do see a much larger percentage of them from that side. One thing nobody really mentions though is that the American side does have a viewing deck that kind of goes right out into the river, and you can get a much better direct view of the falls than you can from the side. The impact isn't quite as great as you get on the Canadian side, but I started here on the American side and I couldn't stop smiling. It was just breathtaking. One of the most beautiful things I had ever seen. I think you can get an amazing clear view from the American side, and even more so if you decide to go into the falls on one of the boats. These rides are almost exactly the same on either side, except with different color ponchos, and for my money, it is the best thing that you can do at Niagara Falls. Feeling the literal mist of water just hitting your face with every gust of wind, hearing the children all around you just having the time of their lives, seeing the rainbow that forms in the water on a sunny day, it's unlike anything in the world and truly can't be beat. And both sides effectively take you along the same path for the same amount of time and the same amount of money. There actually is even one big advantage to doing the boat ride on the American side. It's that when you finish on the Maid of the Mist, you can continue climbing up the crow's nest at no extra charge. I felt a little like Indiana Jones while I was climbing up the crow's nest. The ground was all flooded and the water was just coming down and in your face aggressively. I actually wouldn't recommend the crow's nest for children. A lot of the kids who were doing it, I think, were feeling kind of scared just by the amount of water that would hit them every time the wind blew. But if you and your family don't mind getting very wet, then this is an experience that you can only get on the American side. Attraction. A real quote that I heard in passing on the Canadian side was, "Wow, this is like if Las Vegas were made for kids." And that's honestly a great way to put it. Clifton Hill in Ontario looks a lot like the Vegas Strip. It has the amenities, the hotels, and even a couple casinos to match. It's right near the falls, and if you are planning to spend a little bit more time there, eventually you will be looking to find attractions nearby to keep yourself and your kids occupied. This category is where Canada absolutely destroys the American side.
Canada, nice.
Can I show you something for comparison? So I bought a ticket to one of the only attractions on the US side. It's a wax museum, and it sort of shows Niagara's history. It is educational, so I don't want to throw too much shade, but it does feel like it hasn't been updated since the 80s, and the wax figures are a little frightening. That's pretty much it. Clifton Hill has enough attractions to make it a worthwhile destination all by itself. Big Canadian win. But there are a couple areas that the US does do better than Canada. The nature. Okay, so of course the falls themselves are a marvel of nature, but what about the area surrounding the falls? I think this is a topic that doesn't really come up much when people discuss the two sides, but it should. The American side might not have much by way of Vegas-esque attractions, but it does have a lot more greenery. You'll notice right away when you pull up a map that the US side is truly a park. Take the time to walk over to Goat Island and you really feel that. There's a trolley where you can buy tickets that'll just take you through all the beautiful green spaces in the park. But the US side does really promote this as a place of nature as opposed to the very commercialized Canadian side. The excursion. I'm back on my Indiana Jones bull. So each side has a bonus activity, an adventure. I'm not really sure what term I should use to lump these things together. We'll call them excursions. They each give out yellow ponchos, so I'm up to 4 ponchos on the day now. Oh, no, don't cry, Earth. They're biodegradable. On the US side, you have what's called Cave of the Winds, and in Canada, it's called Journey Behind the Falls. Cave of the Winds is somewhat similar to the crow's nest activity that I mentioned earlier. It's a climbable stairwell that effectively takes you to a major splash zone of the falls. You will get very wet. It's easier to climb than the crow's nest. There are actually rails to hold on to as you ascend the stairs, but otherwise it's pretty similar. It's kind of like a mini water park, except your only goal is just don't fall down the stairs. Journey Behind the Falls is exactly what it sounds like. You sort of go down this elevator to a place behind the falls where you can see them. You've journeyed behind them. There's also a viewing area included in the ticket price where you can see the falls from sort of a ground level position. But on the whole, Journey Behind the Falls is lame. I don't know, in my head, I guess I imagined that you'd see a lot more of the area behind the waterfall, but in reality, it's just a couple tiny little windows that you sort of see water trickling down. I've definitely drank out of water fountains that are more exciting than this. Cave of the Winds, on the other hand, was fun, but not a must visit. My recommendation is to do Maid of the Mist and then do the Crow's Nest afterwards, and just skip both of these extra excursions unless you're feeling particularly adventurous. So the big money question, should you visit the US side of Niagara Falls? Is it as bad as people say? Is the Canadian side that much better? Yes, and no, and yes. Niagara Falls is literally one of the 7 wonders of the world. So many Americans take it for granted, but I don't want you to miss this. If you've never been, and if Niagara is not already on your travel bucket list, it should be. It's breathtaking, and honestly, it makes me cry every time I see it.
Aw, poor crybaby.
If you do have both options at your disposal, I think for most people, the Canadian side is probably better. If you're looking for entertainment outside of the falls themselves, then yeah, Canada is way better, miles ahead, no comparison. But I do think that there is a large group of people, particularly travel enthusiasts, who love nature and don't like large groups of tourists who might actually prefer the US side. You can still take the Maid of the Mist to see the falls up close and personal, and then afterwards head to Goat Island and just relax surrounded by the nature and beauty of it all. At the end of the day, isn't that why we're visiting? To see the power and beauty of nature at work? And you know what? They'll still be there if you want to visit again in the future, but I say don't wait, make the visit. You will be better for it. If you feel like this video helped you in any way, I make weekly food and travel videos just like this one, and I would be honored to share more of them with you. And you'd be really helping me out if you hit that like button and tap subscribe if you haven't done so already. Have you been to Niagara? What do you recommend? Do you have any food recommendations on either side? How is the zip lining? Have you won big at any of the casinos? I would love to hear it all down in the comments below. My name is Josh. I love you for watching. Now let's get lost. And while you're in the Niagara Buffalo area, make sure you grab the best wing I have ever tasted. Link to that video is right here.